Holy shiz, how's it going, bub? So today I'll be showing you how to create the smallest and hardest base to raid in Rust. This base is only temporary, but it's to help people get off the ground from solo players to small groups. So I hope you all learned something from this video, and thanks for watching, Bubba. Enjoy. But first, there's a couple things that I need to be clear on. In this current state of Rust, stone walls take 2 C4 and high external walls take 6. They are the equivalent of 3 stone walls. Also, in this current state of Rust, you cannot use ladders unless you have building access. As you can see here, I cannot place this ladder on any of these walls, but once I gain access, now I can. Also, in this current state of Rust, you can jump on someone else's head and get up over a stone wall. But if the foundation is placed high enough, or if it's a high external wall, they cannot. So as long as we have a tool cabinet and make our foundations high enough, this base is only raidable on a horizontal scale. They can only blow through walls and doorways. With all that being said, let's get down to actually building the base. Since this base is fairly small, you pretty much tuck it anywhere. So I suggest if you want more cover, you can tuck it away in the woods somewhere. But for now, I'm going to put it right here in the middle of the field, surrounded by ore nodes and trees. One thing that I want to be clear on is that this is not my original design. I found this design on Reddit many months ago, and I have no idea who put it up there, but props to him for coming up with this pretty cool idea for building a very protective and small base. Now you want to find yourself a fairly flat spot and build yourself a 2x2 out of square foundations. You want to make sure it's kinda high up. And here we have a 2x2 made out of square foundations. Pull up your building plan and go to the triangle foundation. Now place triangle foundations on all sides of the 2x2 square foundations. Now that is done, we are going to fill up this corner by placing one triangle foundation and one square foundation. Exactly like that on each of the corners. So here you have it, the bottom floor of your base. This is pretty much as big as it gets. We're going to be adding walls, but without pillars. We're not going to be adding pillars because this is going to be such a small base and only really 1 story high. It does not need pillars. And that's just going to waste resources because when you're first starting off, resources are a pain to gather. And the whole reason behind this base is to be resource efficient and still have a lot of good defenses. And now you're going to choose where you want your entry to be. I suggest picking any one of the square foundations in the corners. My entry point is going to be in this corner. Now you want to pull up your building plan, go to walls, and start placing walls all the way around your base. And there you have it. Your bottom floor is now surrounded with a single layer of walls. If you haven't done this already, you need to start upgrading your base to at least stone. I would not suggest upgrading it to wood because wood is not strong enough. But do not upgrade it to sheet metal because sheet metal is actually worse than stone. Sheet metal only takes 1 C4 to break down, while stone takes 2. Once you have everything upgraded, you need to start working on the second layer of the wall. So pull out your building plan, make sure you have the wall selected, and start placing down walls on the triangle foundations in a wavy fashion like so. And now we have a second layer of walls to our base, but we're not done yet. We're going to add 2 more doorways because we're going to add a whole entire another layer of walls. 3 in total. Just put them around the original 2x2 in the middle so it's a perfect square like so. Remember to upgrade it. Everything should at least be made out of stone now. Congratulations, your base is now nearing completion. You have 3 layers of walls on your bottom floor, but we need to put up the doors. One thing about the doors is do not leave them wooden. You should upgrade them to at least sheet metal, which is only 30 metal fragments. Shouldn't be very hard to smelt down, but you really want to make them armored. This is the first thing that you should make armored. Because the whole idea of this base is to have every wall, every doorway, every door take up at least 2 C4 to get through. Sheet metal only takes 1 C4, while armored takes 2. It shouldn't take too long to smelt down the high quality metal or needed. So while you're building this base, you could be smelting that down and it'll be all ready for you when you put up your doors. Now that you have your doors set up, we can now put up the ceiling. Or you could have done this before. As long as you have your front door, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to put up some stairs so we can get up to the top of our base a lot easier. And from here, you can just place down floor triangles and the squared floors on every slot available. Now jump back down in your house, place down a square floor, and then upgrade it. There you go, there's your ceiling. There's a special way of setting up your chests and furnaces so it uses up your room more efficiently. You need to pull out your building plan, go to the half block, place it down, then place some square floors right next to it, attached to its height level, place 2 of them on that side of the room, and then destroy the half block. Now you have yourself a fancy little shelf where you can put items on top of it and items below it. First, we'll be placing the furnaces underneath the shelf. They need to be placed first because they stick through the shelf, and if anything else was placed on top, they cannot be placed below. So we're going to go ahead and place down 4 furnaces, 2 on each side. And you want to make it as close to the edge of the shelf as possible. Use this little line in the floor kind of as a grid. So you take your furnaces and you place 2 of them on this side, and then you place 2 more on this side. Okay, all 4 furnaces have been placed, and we left a spot here in the middle so we can place chests right behind it. So we make sure we use all the empty spaces in this house. Okay, so now we'll be setting up our tool cabinet. Maybe you should have done this earlier, because if someone else walks up to your base without this, they can ladder in and do a lot of damage to your base, because having this up does not allow anyone to build within its radius unless you have access to the cabinet. Now that's done, we're going to start placing large chests up on the shelf. Now if you don't have the large chest blueprint, you can start using the smaller chest, the default chest. If you want to, it'll work just as fine until you find the large chest blueprint. You want to jump up, you want to jump up here, and you want to start placing chests probably right behind that furnace. See how they poke through? You kind of have to put it right behind it and tuck it as close to the wall as possible. Then place another one directly right in front of it. Now we're going to do the same exact thing to the other side. And there we go, we now have 6 large chests. If you want to, you can place a little box right here in the middle. Now we have 6.5. And here you have it, everything that you'll ever need cram packed into a 2x2 room. This space is really good because it can fit up to about 4 players, and it's really solid base too. It will take a significant amount of C4 to blow into this room, and this room does have like a lot of storage space. It does have a fair amount of furnaces. It has everything that you need. One possible modification if you want to make it is leave this ceiling open right above your main room door. Place a ladder here right to the side of the door, come up to the roof of your base, place down some walls, slap a door on there, and there you have it. You now have an entrance of getting on top of your own base. This could be quite useful for shooting at anybody, maybe at your front door, anybody running up, or just getting a nice view overlooking the land you live on. Now I want to do an overview of why you built this base the way you did. Now the reason why you surrounded your main 2x2 room with triangle foundations is because you're allowed to place 3 whole walls pretty much in the same size as a regular foundation. Because a square foundation, you can put 1 wall on one side, 1 wall on the other, where these triangle foundations have a wavy like action where you can place a whole wall in the middle. So those triangle foundations allow us to have 3 whole walls. It takes 6 C4 to go from the outside to the inside of your base. Now 6 C4 might be a little bit too much for a group or a bunch of raiders to consider on such a small base. That's the idea behind the space design. Try to be as small as possible, but still try to have some damn good defenses in case someone does try to raid you. You might be thinking, well, what if they get on top of your roof? Then they just go right to the middle, blow down, and that only takes 2 C4. Well, as long as your foundations are placed high enough, a player cannot jump on another player's head and get up there. And if maybe he can, you can place low walls on top of your base that add some extra height so they cannot jump up there. And they also cannot use ladders now unless they have building permission, which they cannot get because your cabinet is in the middle of your base. Raid towers are also another possibility, but I already tested it out and I could not build a raid tower anywhere close to this thing where I could fall down on it and land on the roof, at least without dying. So there you have it. It takes 6 whole C4 to go from where I'm standing now to the inside of the base without using the doors. But I also have another trick for you guys to double that amount of C4 it would take to get inside of your base. In order to set this up, you need to place a whole nother door in front of your main entrance. The next thing you need to do is to have 5,000 stones and build yourself 10 high external stone walls. When you have them all made up, come to the right side of your entrance, pull them out, and place one right down, flush against the wall, and then connect them all the way around your base in a chain-like fashion. So we're going to come up to the roof and place down a single low wall. You do not have to do this to the rest of the roof because the high walls pretty much do that for you. And there you have it, your base is pretty much all done. Now the least amount of C4 that they could use to get to your core is 8 C4 if they blow through all 4 of your doors, but 12 if they go through the wall. Now if you want to increase that minimum count, you can place down yet another doorway, another entryway, and now increase the minimum amount to 10 C4 to break into your base. This base is designed to be temporary, but if you want to prolong its life, you can keep adding entries and more high external walls, which will increase the amount of C4 needed to be used on it. This base is pretty damn solid for its small size, but it'll run you up quite the resource tab. In total, it'll cost about 8,000 wood, 20,000 stone, and 40 high quality metal. And that's the end of the video, guys. I hope this video helps some of you build a better starter base out there in Rust. If you're a solo player or have a small group, hopefully this base will work for you. It should, it's compact, and it's pretty tough to break in. So, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to have a fantastic day. I know that will. And I will see you guys all later. You thinking? Alright, let's give it a whirl. You guys keep breaking down through that. We're gonna go a different way. Let's split up. He's coming for me. He's coming for me, isn't he? No. Oh, he ate the rockets! Oh, how he ate the rockets! Oh my